The World Cup is finally here. There's been a bunch of warm-up matches, a lot of series going around the world, and Australia here have gone down to India in what was a very interesting contest. Lots of ups and downs, and in the end, India proved way too good. A few moments with the ball, and then a couple of batsmen there that really just sealed the deal. And that's all it takes a lot of the time in these one-day international, especially these World Cup matches. Just a couple of guys to step up and own the moment there. And Australia weren't able to do it in this one, and the Indian players were. So let's get into the Australian batting innings to kick things off. And they ended up almost batting the full 50 overs, but it was made very, very difficult when they lost three very crucial wickets in the middle of this innings there. And we'll go through them in a minute here. So David Warner and Steve Smith were the ones to kind of steer the ship and do a really good job, but it wasn't without Mitch Marsh losing his wicket after 6 balls for no runs there. And it was a bit of a strange one. Just opened the face on it. I just don't think he was really, ready and available for that ball. Like, he just was able to show a very small part of the middle of his bat, unfortunately, and guided that to a really, really good catch by Virat Kohli at first slip, who has been known to drop a few. So good improvements from him there. But it was Warner and Smith. And what you notice here in this opening partnership was that it was fairly slow, the wicket, and there was some balls that actually went fairly low as well. But Smithy especially, just being able to show some of his cover drives with the grip that he holds is just incredible. The way that he can really just push his body into it in perfect timing, and he pretty much does it at all times. Warner there was able to be inventive with a few shots as well, and hit him at a 78.8 strike rate, which was very, very helpful before he fell to a very sort of lazy drive there back to Kuldeep Yadav, unfortunately, for Warner in that one. And that really just turned the tide. And Smithy, an incredible ball from Jadeja, and he has to be up there with the best of the best all-rounders at the moment. And what's wild is he actually bats at about 8 in this squad, so didn't even get a hit here in the top 6, and you've got guys that are incredible in that top 6, so he's nowhere near that at this point. But he could definitely bat in the top 6 in a lot of teams there, so he was incredible. He obviously got Smithy there with an absolute peach. There's not too much that Smithy could have done with that one. And even he was, had a half smile on his face when he missed it. It was just like, wow, that's too good. Too good for even me, having faced 71 balls. So if you can get someone like that, and it didn't look like he lost concentration or anything, it was just too good. Spinning, pitching middle and leg there, spinning away, hitting top of off is just too good. And that's what you need sometimes to get the best players in the world out, like Steve Smith there. Marnus, unfortunately, just nicked one, trying to sweep. I don't think there was too much wrong with that shot. Just unfortunate that he was able to get a nick there. And, when you're under a little bit more pressure, when Warner and Smith are gone, you're in there with a new bat. These things can happen sometimes. You just don't go completely through it, or, whatever happens there. Unfortunately, he was able to lose his wicket at 27 off the 41. And you look at the full of wicket there. Warner lost his at 74, Smith at 110. So they were doing fairly well at 2 for 110 before that wicket there. And then Marnus goes down at 4 for 119, and Alex Carey as well, just with a really good ball as well. Just getting really tight at the stumps to a new batter is always going to produce results. And in this case, just a little bit of turn back and would have been cannoning into leg stump. And bit of an unfortunate one. And you do see here that Carey is batting at 6 at the moment. I do really like him as a player, but his average at the moment, or in recent time especially, I'm not sure if it proves that he should be in that 6 role. I'm not sure if it, to me personally, should be for a direct batsman in this side, because then you have Cam Green at 7, and unfortunately for him, he seems to be a little bit up and down, especially in these scenarios where there's a fair bit of pressure on him. Him batting at 7, you probably want him at sort of an 8 number there, and then you've got Paddy Starkey, who seems to continuously score, somewhere between that 15 and 30 there regularly. Zampa and Hazelwood, so it doesn't finish off too well at an Australian level in terms of their batting. So it does leave the Australian batting lineup a little bit weak when we're not sure what we're going to get out of Glenn Maxwell on a regular basis. I am very happy that Marnus is in there. But I suppose the thing we need to see here is if these guys actually fire, if March comes out, he can hit at any kind of strike rate there. You've got Glenn Maxwell that can do the same, and it's just a little bit of a worry if they do happen to lose a few of these guys early, or even in this scenario here, that the middle is a little bit susceptible to getting out in clumps, especially if they come up against a good bowling lineup, and it's exactly what they did here against the Indians. So you look at Maxwell's shot as well, unfortunately just backing away to a ball spinning in towards him isn't usually the correct play there. He's trying, and just skidded through a little bit and had a little bit of turn. And even him, when his face when he when he missed that shot and it bowled him, was just like, oh, what am I doing kind of thing. So yeah, just kind of all just went a little bit downhill from there. Thankfully for Pat and Mitch Starc at the end there, they were able to steer the ship, and even Cam Green backing away. Ashwin just always knows the right ball to bowl the Karen ball there. It just stayed away a little bit more from his bat. Even his long levers, he was only able to get toe end of the bat and thick edge there to hit that to point. So yeah, it just was a very disappointing batting innings in the end. Obviously, it didn't start great with Marsh going down at the first wicket falling at 5 runs, but they steered the ship well enough to get closer to that 250 mark, and things just really fell away in that middle part there. And no fault of Australia's own for some of them, but amazing bowling for Jadeja and a few things that Australia can clean up going into the rest of this World Cup. And it's not the end of the world losing to India here. They're obviously going to be one of the best teams. I think they're a top 2, top 3 side, along with Australia and a couple of other countries there, but definitely a few things to clean up in their batting for sure. And you look at their bowling there, they're missing Mo Shami, but Siraj has been incredible of recent time. Last couple of years there, Bumrah, we know what he can provide. Panya in there just to fill in a little bit of a couple overs there if needed, I think. So he's going to be their 6th bowler there. And then they went the 3-spin attack, and it seems to work very, very well, especially over there as well in Chennai for this one. But 6 wickets between the 3 of them. It was super hot out there, so potentially that may have got to a few of the batsmen there. Warner with the concentration, and also Smithy there. Yeah, potentially in that one. Marnus obviously 27 off 41, spent a little bit of time out there, but you can't see too many of these guys going and spending a lot of time out in the middle. So congrats to India's bowling. They did an incredible job. Now let's move to their batting, and things started very poorly for the Indians, and 3 down for 2 runs it was at one point there. So Kishan went early, really chasing a super wide outswing delivery with a couple of slips in a gully. First ball, yes, it was very full, but that's the way that Starc get wickets. So I don't believe that Kishan has faced Mitch Starc too much, but that's something he's going to be learning from that, and I think he'll come out bigger and better from that one. But that obviously put India in a little bit of trouble, losing that first one for 2 runs there. And then Rohit Sharma, unfortunate for him, got an absolute peach by Hazelwood, just outside the off stump, pitching and seaming back very sharply to hit him just in front of the off stump there, and be canning into off stump and middle there. So yeah, put him in a fair bit of trouble. And then Shreyas Iyer just came out and was very, very loose with a length cover drive, which put them in a terrible position at 3 down for 2 runs. And anyone would have thought that India could really struggle from there. But what you do see is a team that is full of incredible batsmen. This top 6 here, apart from Kishan, obviously not having spent too much time in the Indian setup compared to these other guys there, they're all top quality batsmen that could bat in the top 4 for any side in this World Cup, and it just showed here that Virat Kohli and KL Rahul, incredible batsmen in their own right there. But it's 85 off 116 and 97 off the 115, really just smacking a few at the end there to try and get the 100, which was pretty funny. It looked like in that last one he was just trying to hit a 4 over cover, and he actually hit it a little bit too well, or attacked it too well to get it for 6, which left him at 97 instead of 95, and then trying to get the 100 with the 6 at the end. So yeah, that was funny to watch there. He was just like, oh, hit it too good. Yeah, I'm too good of a player, right? But yeah, Kohli and Rahul at the start of the innings both just played really, really late, which was the big thing there that worked for him. And with the new ball and it coming so fast, like you got Starc, you got Hazelwood, both bowl, and Cummins all bowl pretty quick there. And just to be able to lean on it, play it late, it got through the gap multiple times just from mere defensive shots, which was very helpful for them. And they were able to expand from there. There was one that Kohli came down the wicket a little bit early and played it with a little bit more angle bat and hit it down past the bowler for 4. But for the majority of time early on with their boundaries, it was just playing the ball late and making sure they got themselves in, because we know in this scenario here, 3 for 2, if you lose another 1 or 2, even if Kohli and Rahul were to get 20, 30, 40, 50 each, it still puts them in a bit of a spot of bother. And they were, guys aren't able to come in and score as quickly, just with the pitch not being as easy as some of the other games that we've been seeing with South Africa and the like there. So yeah, very incredible partnership. Basically, they were 3 for 2 and ended up 4 for 167. And by that point, by the time Kohli got out, the game was fairly well over. You got Rahul in there still doing really well, and he was able to finish off that game. And what about that pull shot from Kholi, just straight to Marnus there, literally was going to hit him in the face, just gone bang and caught that there. So yeah, what I'm seeing here, guys, is a very, very incredible Indian squad, and I think they're going to go a long way. And it's a especially over there, I think there's a very, very high chance that they can go on to win this World Cup, and hopefully Australia can meet them in the finals again after a bit of a tough one here. And I think Australia will learn a lot from that one. The other thing of them only playing one spinner and having Maxwell in there, yes, going at 4 and over, but isn't an incredibly high chance of taking big wickets against this type of batting outfit against India. And I think it's something they'll need to look through going into next time that they potentially play them. And the commentary was saying, Indian commentary was saying that they very, very surprised that Ashton Agar wasn't picked for this game, because they've struggled against him in the past. And in that scenario, I think they should have been, with Cam Green only bowling the 2 overs, I'd be selecting Ashton Agar over Green. I think their batting is fairly similar at the moment in a lot of these scenarios. You see Agar can come out and he did in a few of those one-day internationals in recent time, come out and do really well and help the Australians win. So I would be selecting him just based on even them saying that they're fairly not scared of Agar, but he's had a lot of success, and they're like, wow, I'm very glad or surprised that he hasn't been picked. So that's the other way he'd played. Obviously Zampa didn't go too well in this one, 6.6 and over. Starks began well and wasn't being hit at too much, but Cummins, you won't see him going for no wickets and over 5 and over. Hazelwood was great, so very glad that he's back and bowling well. Him with that new ball and that height is just incredible with his balance, with his control. So probably just that one change you'd make against India, and this is going to work differently against different teams too. So just remember, they're talking about Agar being a guy that can can cause trouble against the right hand batsman of the Indians. So against other teams it might be a little bit different, and they can use Maxwell and he'll pick up 2 or 3 wickets. Or guys like Cam Green will do a little bit better against some other outfits there, and we know what we're going to get from Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins. So it's probably just that fifth bowler, I'd say. Zampa would be there. You got the top 3, and then you got Zampa the 4, and then they're just selecting that 5th and 6th bowler, just to making that decision there. And I think that will change against different teams as well. So it's not all doom and gloom for Australia at this point. It obviously is the first game of the World Cup. They've got a bunch more to go. They do have to win those though, obviously, to get through and make finals. But it was an incredible test to start things off for the Australians, and I think they will come back bigger and better. And for the Indian side of things, I think they're in a really, really good place to go deep in this competition. I wish both teams the plenty of luck, and I hope they go well. See you guys.